Sir, thanks, first of all, for being with us here this morning. It's always an honor, specifically to have you, but more importantly, the Vice Chief of Staff of the Army. I'd ask you to remain here on stage with me so we can recognize our National Award winners for 2017. I now ask our Branch Chief, Major General Bill Gaylor, Chief Warrant Officer of the Branch CW5, Joe Rowland, and our Branch Command Sergeant Major, Greg Chambers, to join us and assist with the award presentations.
As in previous years, we will be presenting all of our national level awards at one time, beginning with the individual awards and then moving to the unit awards. The award citations for each of these outstanding individuals and units are contained in the current issue of Army Aviation magazine that is available and picked up with your badges and on the kiosk outside the entry doors to this hall. The first award this morning is the Joseph P. Cribbins Department of the Army Civilian of the Year Award, named in honor of its first recipient, a horse cavalryman, and the recognized father of Army aviation logistics. This award was established in 1976 and is sponsored by the Boeing Company. It is presented to the Army civilian who has made an outstanding contribution to Army aviation in the previous calendar year. This year, the award is presented to Dr. William D. Lewis, Director of the Aviation Development Directorate, U.S. Army Aviation and Missile Research, Development, and Engineering Center.
Morning, folks. It goes without saying that to be standing up on the stage is an honor. It's even a little bit sweeter when the recognition is coming from an aviation organization that you've been a part of for over 40 years. I'm in the aviation development business. I'm in the science and technology business, and some of you probably don't know what that is. But like many things in the Army, S&T is a team sport. It starts out, it's a requirements-driven process that starts out with soldiers explaining what they need in the future for the fight, identifying capability gaps, and then a team comes in and tries to fulfill those gaps or capabilities with innovative technical solutions. Okay, so who is that team? Well, I've got an organization within the Research Development Engineering Command, broadly, that works on those kind of problems, but that's a small part of the team. It extends across academia, industry. Some of our NATO partners are here that help us with the S&T efforts that we have going forward to get after all of those kind of things. It's a great team. So for this entire aviation development team, I accept this award. And in closing, I just want to thank my lovely wife, Cindy, for her constant support. And also, I'd like to thank Quad A for even considering us for this prestigious honor. So thank you very much.
Our next award this morning is the James H. Mcclellan Aviation Safety Award, sponsored by General Electric Aviation in memory of James H. Mcclellan, a former Army aviator who was killed in a civil aviation accident in 1958. The award is presented annually to a person who has made an outstanding individual contribution to Army aviation safety in the previous calendar year. This award will be co-presented this morning by Brigadier General David J. Francis, the Commanding General of the U.S. Army Combat Readiness Center and Director of Army Safety. This year, the McClellan Award goes to Specialist Nicholas A. Black, Troop D, 7th Squadron, 17th Cavalry Regiment, 1st Air Cav Brigade.
Good morning, Quad A. I'm a little nervous. Wasn't expecting to make a giant speech in front of all these people. I do have to say it's been an absolute honor to come out here to see an organization, a family as big as this, and to be a part of this. I wasn't expecting it to be this big, but it's been an absolute pleasure. We'll keep this short so I don't get too nervous. I have to say thank you to my parents for giving me the values and the person I am today, and to thank my better half, Chelsea Lynn, for putting my head on sight every time before I put this uniform on. So, thank you.
Our next award this morning is the Aviation Soldier of the Year Award, sponsored by Bell. It is presented to the enlisted soldier E4 and below, serving in an Army Aviation assignment who has made an outstanding individual contribution to Army Aviation. The Army Aviation Association of America's 2017 Soldier of the Year is Specialist Madeline R. Rampona, Company A, 224th Military Intelligence Battalion.
I just want to thank my family for being here and always supporting me. I want to thank my leadership, my officers and NCOs, everything I know I got from them. And then I want to thank Quad A for choosing me for this award. It means so much, so thank you.
Our next award this morning is the Army Aviation Association's Henry Q. Dunn Crew Chief of the Year Award. Sergeant Major Dunn was the first crew chief for the Presidential Flight Detachment that was initially established during the Eisenhower administration. This award is sponsored by Robertson Fuel Systems. The Army Aviation Association of America's Crew Chief of the Year is Specialist Jacob M. Ramsey, 4th Battalion, 160th Special Operations Aviation Regiment, Airborne.
Distinguished leaders, guests, friends, and family, thank you for attending today. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the Quad A Committee for selecting me as this year's non-rated Crew Member of the Year. It's truly a humbling experience standing here in front of you all today to receive this award. I'd also like to thank Bravo Company and my chain of command for putting me in for this award. It means a lot that they felt like I deserved that. I couldn't imagine a more fulfilling career with any other unit. Last but not least, I'd like to thank my wife for her dedicated support throughout all my deployments and trips, through the bad times and the good. Without you, I could not have made it to where I am today. Night Stalkers don't quit. Washington Branch, Evil Empire.
The next award this morning was established in 2002 to give greater recognition to our enlisted ranks by retaining our traditional Soldier of the Year award and adding the Non-Commissioned Officer of the Year award. In 2008, the award was renamed in tribute to Medal of Honor recipient and Army Aviation Hall of Fame inductee, Sergeant First Class Rodney J.T. Yano. This award is being sponsored by Lockheed Martin. The Army Aviation Association of America's Rodney J.T. Yano NCO of the Year is Sergeant First Class Brittany A. Barfield, Company D, 1st Battalion, 222nd Aviation Regiment.
Good morning. First, I'd like to thank Quad A for recognizing me as NCO of the Year. I'm very proud to represent Army Aviation. I'd also like to thank all of my past and present leadership that I've served with at the 128th Aviation Brigade. All of you have been big influences on my life, and I'm very grateful for it. And I'd like to thank my friends and family that came here today. Thank you for everything you do. Above the best.
Our next individual award to be presented today is the Michael J. Novosel Army Aviator of the Year Award. Sponsored by Sikorsky, a Lockheed Martin company, this award is named for Medal of Honor recipient and Master Army Aviator, Chief Warrant Officer 4, Mike Novosel. This year's recipient is Chief Warrant Officer 3, Christopher M. Bassett, Special Operations Advisor Team Central, Special Mission Wing, Special Operations Aviation Group, Afghanistan.
Good morning, everyone. Specialist Ramsey hit the nail on the head talking about the humbling experience to be standing in front of this much Army aviation history. Really is truly humbling. I'd like to start by thanking Brigadier General Ramin of the Afghan Special Mission Wing and his counterparts last year, Colonel Mark Koppelman and Colonel Chad Chasteen, for the opportunity to serve with such an outstanding group of dedicated professionals over there. It really was an honor to serve, fight and fly beside those guys. Also like to thank a few warrant officer mentors, CW5, Joe Rowland, Terry Horner, Steve Lodge, and Chad Trineri for their mentorship and confidence in the past few years. And my mother, Cindy, who's here for a lifetime of support. And then finally, I'd like to thank Quad A not only for the award and these great conferences every year, but their untiring dedication and support to Army aviators around the world. Thank you.
Our first unit award this morning is the Robert M. Like Award. It is sponsored by Airbus and honors the memory of an aviator from the Army's initial pilot training course in June of 1942 and who served as our association's first national president. The award is given to a unit or an individual for sustained contributions to Army aviation or for a unique one-time outstanding performance. Co-presenting this award this morning is Lieutenant General Timothy Cadavy, Director of the U.S. Army National Guard. The 2017 Robert M. Like Award winner is the 29th Combat Aviation Brigade. Accepting the award is its unit commander, Colonel Mark M. Beckler, Command Chief Warrant Officer 5, Albert B. Eisenach, and Senior Non-Commissioned Officer, Command Sergeant Major Stephen T. McKenna. General Cadavy, please stay up here. One more. Yeah, you can stand.
Okay.
I just didn't want you.
Okay, so in War College, they taught us a lot about the balancing of resources in World War II. But I would say last year was the first time I've really felt that balancing at the operational level. So my first thanks go out to my fellow cabs, all the forward deployed cabs. I think we all wrestled with trying to do the right thing at the local level and still share resources and support the national interest. So we ended up migrating some AH-64s between Iraq and Afghanistan. We picked up some missions in Turkey, which is normally a USAR mission, and we had to share some resources up there to get that done. So to all the forward deployed cabs, I thank you for your professionalism and the cooperative spirit. our leadership in theater, or actually the aviation enterprise, to all of you in this room. I thank you for all the training and material solutions, all the equipping. We wouldn't have gotten anything done without you. The leadership in theater, both RSENT and CJTF-OIR, I thank them for their aviation oversight and their support. You're going to hear from one battalion and one squadron that made up the brigade task force shortly. To the assault battalion that can't be here, we thank them. The separate UAS companies and the fixed wing detachments. The soldiers themselves, I definitely want to thank. No order is ever complete. It's those soldiers that use initiative to fill in the gaps and get it done. They did it with discipline. That's why they got home safely. To the families, definitely thank you for letting great Americans serve in our formations. And as a force that was a lot of guard and reserve, I want to thank all the employers and the communities out there that give up great people for that year while they're away with us. So thank you all.
Our next award this morning is the John J. Stanko Jr. Army National Guard Aviation Unit of the Year Award. This award was also established in 1985 and presented at the 1986 Quad A Convention. In late 2010, your National Executive Board renamed this award for the acknowledged father of Army National Guard Aviation, Colonel Retired John J. Stanko Jr. This award is sponsored by the Honeywell Corporation and recognizes outstanding unit accomplishments within the Army National Guard for organizations battalion-sized and below. This award will also be co-presented this morning by Lieutenant General Cadavy. The John J. Stanko Army National Guard Unit of the Year is 2nd Battalion, 149 Aviation Regiment, Texas Army National Guard. Receiving the award are Lieutenant Colonel Jeffrey E. Long, Unit Commander, and Senior Non-Commissioned Officer, Command Sergeant Major Michael R. Gordon, Jr.
Good morning. On behalf of the 633 soldiers that comprise Task Force Rough Riders, we want to thank the Quad A organization for this incredible honor. As a single aviation battalion that was arrayed across 4 countries and 12 locations in 2 theaters of operation, it took a significant amount of effort and support from a myriad of different agencies to enable our success. We would like to thank the following organizations that helped us: the state aviation officers and the adjutant generals for the states that comprise our formation: Arkansas, Maryland, Massachusetts, Montana, Oklahoma, Oregon, Texas, Puerto Rico, and Wisconsin. Without the unwavering support from those states, our success would have not been possible. Also, the National Guard Bureau, thank you for all the support that you enabled and supported us throughout our mobilization and deployment. And then lastly, family, friends, loved ones. Without your support and undying and unwavering efforts on our behalf while we were downrange and then also during the mobilization process, our success would have been impossible. So again, thank you, Quad A, for this incredible honor. We appreciate it, and God bless and Godspeed.
Our next unit award this morning is the U.S. Army Reserve Aviation Unit of the Year. Established in 1985, it was presented for the first time during the 1986 convention. The award is also sponsored by the Honeywell Corporation and is presented to the Reserve Unit, Battalion and below, that has made an outstanding contribution to or innovation in the employment of Army aviation over and above their normal mission assigned to that unit. Co-presenting this award this morning is Brigadier General Scott R. Morcom, Commanding General of the U.S. Army Reserve Aviation Command. This year's winning U.S. Army Reserve Aviation Unit of the Year is 5th Battalion, 159th Aviation Regiment. Accepting the award is the Unit Commander, Lieutenant Colonel Matthew B. Hill, and Senior Non-Commissioned Officer, Command Sergeant Major Charles A. Booth.
Good morning to all the distinguished visitors here today. I'd like to extend a special thank you to General Morcom. Thank you for all you do for Reserve Army Aviation, your professionalism, dedication, and mentorship. I'd like to also thank Quad A for this honor and for all they do for Army Aviation. And lastly, most importantly, I'd like to recognize the dedicated professional soldiers of 5th and 159th General Support Aviation Battalion. It truly is an honor and privilege to serve with, amongst, and for you. Dragon Masters, press on.
The association's newest unit award is its Active Army Aviation Unit for active battalion and below units. The award was established in 2006 and is sponsored by L3 Technologies. 4th Squadron, 6th Cavalry Regiment is the 2017 Active Aviation Unit of the Year. Accepting the award for the unit is its commander, Lieutenant Colonel Derek A. Smith, and Command Sergeant Major Stephen J. Hartman, the unit's senior non-commissioned officer.
Thank you. It's humbling to stand among so many heroes and mentors within our community. I believe it takes two things to earn this award. The first is for the Army to ask you to do something extraordinary. And I think the last 16 years has absolutely provided ample opportunity for that. But the second is for the unit to rise to that occasion when called upon. Lieutenant Colonel Eddie Lee, Command Sergeant Majors Hartman and Clark, Major Keith Benoit, and C-4 Steve Frazee. You stood on the backs of giants as you led a multi-component and multifunctional task force across 3 countries, arguably during one of this decade's most important inflection points. We humbly accept this award on behalf of you and all the other CAV troopers that were privileged enough to be a part of such a historic event. You performed brilliantly and rose to every occasion. General McConville, before I left the Pentagon, you said that character is one of the most important qualities. You'll be proud, sir. Our young CAV troopers have it in spades. Thank you very much to Quad A and everybody else for coming out today. Seek and destroy, born in battle.
The association's oldest unit award is its Outstanding Aviation Unit Award for U.S. Army units regardless of component or size. The award was established in 1959 and is sponsored by the Boeing Company. It recognizes an outstanding contribution to or innovation in the employment of Army aviation, and it has been awarded to aviation units who have served in every corner of the globe. The 16th Combat Aviation Brigade Task Force Raptor has been selected as the 2017 Outstanding Aviation Unit of the Year. Accepting the award for the unit is its commander, Colonel Matthew W. Brayman, Command Chief Warrant Officer 5, James M. Hogg, and Command Sergeant Major Mark G. Brock, the senior non-commissioned officer.
On behalf of Sergeant Major Brock and Chief Warrant Officer 5, Jay Hogg, here today, who represented this team during the deployment, I'd like to say we are humbly honored to accept this on behalf of the soldiers, NCOs, officers, and awesome families of the 16th Combat Aviation Brigade. Representing those families here today, we do have some fine spouses, Bridget Hogg, Kathy Oraho, and Pam McFarland. Thanks for your dedicated support to those families during those deployments, as well as the previous command team that sits here today, Bill and Lori Ryan, thanks for leading an outstanding brigade and outstanding families. Thank you. Born in battle.
Well, as I've been saying throughout the morning, Quad A is about supporting Army Aviation soldiers and families. I'll now ask all our awardee family members, who we know are the support behind the soldier, to please stand and be recognized. Once again, I want to thank you all, to our award winners, and for your outstanding contributions to Army Aviation, our Army, and the nation. I ask all our awardees and their families, along with the representatives of the Army, National Guard, Army Reserve, and Combat Readiness Center, as well as the Chief Warrant Officer of the Branch Sergeant Major, to come to the stage immediately following this morning's session so we can get some additional photos. We have one more award this morning to present. And as president of Quad A, it's my privilege to present the Quad A President's Award, which is given only occasionally for extraordinary service to our nation, our Army, and our branch, especially Quad A. In fact, this award has been presented 10 other times in the 61-year history of Quad A, and only 7 times to an individual. I would ask you to please listen carefully to the biography of this great American and learn all that he has done and accomplished for our Army, our branch, and our association. It is my honor to recognize a man who in peace and war has been a tremendous force in our Army, a proven combat leader worldwide, Lieutenant General retired Roger C. Schultz. Roger, please come join me on stage.
Roger Charles Schultz is a former director of the Army National Guard and a licensed airplane pilot, commercial and multi-engine land instrument rated. He was called to active duty as a member of the Iowa National Guard and served in Vietnam with the 2nd Battalion, 22nd Infantry Regiment in 1969, first as a rifle platoon leader and later as a scout platoon leader. He received the Silver Star for heroism in combat, as well as the Combat Infantryman's Badge and Purple Heart, among others. He continued his military service after the Vietnam War, serving in a variety of command and staff positions in Iowa, to include Deputy Adjutant General. In 1998, then Major General Schultz was appointed Director of the Army National Guard, and in 2001 he was promoted to Lieutenant General. He served as the Director until his retirement in 2005. Following retirement, he held senior leadership positions in multiple defense and homeland security-related companies and serves on the board of various military private organizations, to include on the Quad A Senior Executive Associates. Ladies and gentlemen, Lieutenant General retired Roger Schultz.
Well, first off, thanks, Quad A, for this honor. I need to take the script back to my wife because I'm not sure she understands just what all that's about. You know, it was a few years ago when a soldier called, Stanko stopped into my office as a director, and he said, "Hey, sir, have you thought about this?" And then John would come back periodically and check up to see if the things that he had talked with me about were, in fact, still on my memory bank and in the priorities. Another visit was a soldier, an aviator named McNair. And Carl would say, "Hey, sir, have you thought about this? Consider this. You know, back in the day we did this, and it might be applicable again today. So as you think about the branch, happy birthday, aviation branch. As you think about Quad A, happy birthday, Quad A. You know, you recognize those that have served in our Army and those that have been dedicated to aviation positions in our Army. you have clearly documented your place in our nation's and our Army history. As you talk about what's significant in Quad A, it's the way you look after soldiers. It's the way you look after those on the flight line. It's the fact you don't forget about anybody, including all the families. It's the way you look after scholarships. And so for a few minutes here, we recognize some special individuals today and special families, and they clearly make our Army unique, as you know. So I'll just close with this. As Carl McNair would say, you've only just begun. Thanks again.
Congratulations again, sir. Well deserved.